Time for another episode of Local Roots. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. I learned something just recently. There's a term called the silver tsunami? This has to do with the most populated part of our population, the baby boomers. I mean, that's going to be the largest segment, getting older. And it's a tsunami of silver, this kind of hair, and all of the services and needs that they have as they are aging. They're all reaching retirement age. So, and then, even beyond. So I thought, we should have a conversation with somebody that is here to help in a lot of those cases. Jean Bohnker with Assisted Living Locators. We're going to talk to Jean today about what it is that she does, her why, and how she can help you and your loved ones plan when it's time to get a little more help with living, whether it be assisted living or just bringing folks in to be able to help out in your home as well. So that is today's guest, Jean Bohnker with Assisted Living Locators. If you have a leak, a clogged drain, or planning a big remodel, Waldstein Plumbing in Council Bluffs has you covered with fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship, handling everything from small repairs to major installations. They are locally owned and trusted and take pride in doing the job right the first time. Residential or commercial, big or small, when plumbing problems strike, call Waldstein Plumbing. Visit waldsteinplumbing.com for a free estimate. Castle and Associates of American Family Insurance, your local insurance provider for all of your home, auto, life, business, and farm insurance needs. 4 convenient locations. They are in Trainer, Council Bluffs, Bellevue, and Elkhorn, which means they are local and in your neighborhood, ready to help you navigate the complexities of insurance today. Travis and his team will educate, advise, and simplify insurance, all to protect those things you cherish most. Give them a call for your free quote. With us this morning, it is Ms. Jean Bohnker with Assisted Living Locators. It's good to see you, young lady, and always happy when I get a chance to talk to you. And the cool thing about this is we actually get a chance to talk on a semi-frequent basis because we both sit on the board for NAMI Southwest Iowa.
It's a great board and a great organization to be a part of. And, it was fun being seeing you up on stage, helping raise money for a Southwest Iowa Mental Health Alliance right there in Neola and covering all the counties that we do. It was fun to play some Family Feud with you.
Yeah, well, we called it Friendly Feud, so we didn't we didn't violate any copyright laws, but that's okay. We're going to be just fine. And it was so funny because, and I'll just tell the whole story, which I haven't told yet, that you and I spoke while we were still in the social hour ahead of time. And I said, hey, did you get signed up? And you said, well, just make sure that you draw Jean Bohnker's name. And I said, well, what if we draw you both? Or you'd said something about it. And it worked out. You ended up both getting your names drawn and are on opposite teams. And
opposite teams. It
couldn't have happened better.
He said it was rigged, but yeah, we know it wasn't, right?
No, it wasn't rigged. How was the drive home that night? How did that go?
Hey, he still knows that I'm always a winner. So he can't argue that even because they were always right, and that was the name of their team, that I'm still a winner.
Oh, it was such a fun time, and it was great to see everybody, and it was great to raise money that, as you mentioned, Jean, everything stays right in Southwest Iowa. That was raised there Saturday night. So grateful to be a part of it. And I'm also grateful that you jumped on the show today because we wanted to talk to you about the business that you're involved with Assisted Living Locators. What is this? What is this business?
Well, this business is kind of, it's a journey that I love to help senior citizens go on because as we know, there's a lot of choices out there. When we get older, what do we need to do? Who do we turn to? Because there's options in that journey. I kind of took a leap of faith right before COVID hit. I decided that instead of working with special needs preschoolers, I wanted to work with special needs adults, right? It's just kind of looking at the opposite end of the spectrum. And my why is because my dad had Parkinson's. We needed to move back from Wisconsin to be closer to help him through his journey of what do you do next when you need more help. And so we got him, help coming into the home. And then it was like, okay, when that runs out and that no longer can meet his needs, what's next? And so my journey with Assisted Living Locators is to help people find the right kind of care, what options are out there, and to be their advocate for them. I love fighting for people and helping them because it's tough. You don't know what you need to know until you need to know it. I was just with a family that I've helped through the whole transition of they decided they wanted to move out of their 4-bedroom house. We had to get it sold. We had to help them move. They moved into an independent living community, and the wife has dementia, and he's like, now what do I do? We're living independently, but she still needs some help. And I'm like, well, that's where we can get in some more home care, home companionship for her to help her get involved in her new community. So there's a lot of tweaks in the road that I can kind of help people find and navigate. And I usually like to use local resources. I won't recommend anything that I wouldn't recommend to my own loved ones. So I'm here to be an advocate for the community and also for our senior population.
The way that my brain works, Jean, is I equate everything to sports. And it sounds like you're kind of a sports agent.
Right,
That the
right.
folks that need to get some help in finding whether it be some help at home or whether it be moving into a longer term care facility, that you're there to make sure that everything goes correctly, and that just like a sports agent does for a brand new athlete that doesn't know anything about what he's going into in the pro area.
That's very true. Some people laugh at me and they say, well, really, you're a senior citizen real estate agent. I'm like, yes, I am.
That
I'll
works
drive
too.
you around. We'll line up tours. I do all the legwork for you. And, and the biggest thing is because this is Southwest Iowa, I reach all the way from Sioux City, Red Oak, Council Bluffs, Eastern Omaha, and I go all the way to Des Moines. So I'm covering all the ground where I grew up, where my relatives live, where my people and my heart and soul are. So I really want to help these people, especially the veterans, find the best type of care and to be their advocate to help them along the way.
Would is location, as far as proximity to family for the person, does that factor into the areas in which you look to try to find somebody some assistance?
Really, what I try to do is find out what are their needs. So I work with the hospitals, and a lot of people coming out maybe fell or broke a leg or they need skilled care. So I can help them navigate which ones are the best skilled care in the area, which are the best long-term nursing homes that might be available. Also, 20 years ago, when my grandparents were in the nursing home, there wasn't a lot of options. And my grandma had dementia, and the only option really for her was to move into a nursing home. Now we have wonderful memory cares that are available all across the state of Iowa, as well as Omaha, and they have quality care where our loved ones with dementia or memory loss can function. They can have a quality of life with dignity. We also have assisted livings that are dementia specific. So that means these people are trained in how to handle people with memory loss, and they do a great job, and we can keep them there and being independent longer, and they live a very healthy, lovely life and maybe never have to go to a nursing home. And then the big thing that I've been helping a lot of my farmers move off of the farm. They were in that 60-year-old house that they helped build, and the hallways are too narrow. They can't get their walkers down the hall. Their bathrooms aren't safe, and their dear lovely wives are hauling laundry up and down stair steps into the basement. They become unsafe, and so what we've been able to do is move them into independent living, which are great apartments. They can be 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. And I tell them it's a lot like living on a cruise ship. And I tell the husband, he doesn't have to shovel the snow anymore. He can watch them out the window. He doesn't have to mow. And then the wives, I'm like, hey, you don't have to cook anymore. You can be the queen of the ship. And there's activities to do, and they absolutely thrive. And what we found out during COVID, it was a horrible time for our senior citizens when we couldn't see each other. We couldn't have person-to-person contact. And we saw people having failure to thrive, just like a baby does, when it failures to thrive. Their health is decreasing. They're not eating. They're losing weight. Well, once we got them involved in some sort of community living, whether it be assisted living, independent living, we saw those people thriving because they were getting regular meals, they were taking their medication, and they had other people to live life with. A lot of our small rural communities, we're losing our churches, we're losing our grocery stores, we're losing our social network for those senior citizens that maybe can't drive. Maybe they don't want to drive into town, but we have to find ways for them to be socially active. That is what we need for our mental health and our minds. So, yeah, it's these independent communities. The problem is we're seeing a huge waiting list because these people are living longer, and so guess what? There's not as many rooms as what we need.
And also, we are coming into when you look back, and not just coming into, but we're already into it. The baby boomer generation started in 1945. The idea behind that was, as everyone was coming back from war and going back to their lives, which the war ended in 1945. Well, that was 80 years ago. And the baby boomer generation lasts for, what is it, about 60, or rather a 22 years or something like that, into the 1960s. So we're just in the beginning stages of a very, very large percentage of the population that needs these types of services.
And that is what I was talking to you about, the silver tsunami. And
Silver
you said,
tsunami. Okay.
this is silver tsunami. Well, that's exactly it. You have gray hair. Are you really telling me you're not a part of that baby boomer generation?
100% guaranteed. I just had a birthday. I promise. I was born in 1968.
Okay.
I'm towards the front end of Generation X.
Right. But what is happening is you're seeing all of us gray hair, the baby boomers, we're starting to retire, right? Well, the silver tsunami means, here's this big, huge wave of people coming into that retirement age. And number one, we aren't going to have the locations to house us. We aren't going to have the caregivers to take care of us. As I told my kids, I'm like, are you going to be there to change my diaper? I changed yours. And they're like, not me, Mom. So, we have less kids. Our family size has gone down to 2.9. So we aren't having as many children. We're not replacing the baby boomers. We're not replacing them in the workforce. We're not replacing them in the care world to take care of us. And we're also not going to have enough communities, nursing homes, assisted living to take care of us. Projected by 2027, that's going to be another wave of influx when your generation starts to retire and need more care. We're not going to have the housing. We're not going to have the communities to take care of our loved ones. And we're already seeing that right now. So some of the families I deal with, one of the gentlemen right here in Council Bluffs, he's been on the waiting list for 1.5 years to get into independent living. Yes, you want a certain room, and yes, you're downsizing from a huge house, and that's your dream to have that 2-bedroom independent apartment. Well, there's a waiting list. And like I said, people are living longer because they're thriving in these communities. So the turnover rate is less, which is great. So, there's no guarantee what is it going to be like in 2027. So
Yeah,
with the silver tsunami, I've tried to warn people. I'm like, you got to go. You got to come with your tour guide and see what's out there and get on those waiting lists.
And it's and we're just, as we said, we're just in the beginning of it. So planning ahead and getting somebody like you on board is key to that. I was going to mention that I have this exact thing that you're talking about taking place in my own family right now. My grandmother was in an independent living facility in her own apartment for 10 years. And now we just got notification at the age of 99 and a half, she's moving over into a part that can provide a lot more care because she's just not able to keep up with everything that she needed to. But you talked about thriving. I give this place a lot of credit for keeping my grandmother active. I have a number of paintings around here that she did over the past 10 years. She's done thousands. Because this was something that she was passionate about, and she just started making paintings of everything around her town and of scenes. She would say, hey, send me a picture, I want to paint it, and we would do that. That happened because somebody came by the facility, the independent living facility where she was at, and did a class on painting. and it just kept her busy for 10 years.
Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah,
See her happy and thriving. I mean, that's what we want. And 99, you've got some longevity left in you too. You better start planning.
I'm planning.
And the other thing that we haven't planned for is the cost. Long-term care insurance is, wow, it got so expensive, and literally it saved the farm for my dad, who needed to be in the nursing home with his Parkinson's, and my mother-in-law. But you got to get those policies early in your life, because if you and I wanted to get them now, they're way, way too expensive. But what they also have is they have a long-term care slash life insurance. So if you don't use the long-term care, then you could possibly use the life insurance, which is something really to check into. Some of the other things that I really want to warn people about is I've had some really bad scenarios this summer of people not having a will or a power of attorney set up. I had a young lady who was 89. She had dementia, was in the hospital, and because of the dementia, she had fired her POAs. And she also was deemed by her doctor not capable of making her own decisions, which meant medical decisions, right? So nobody could give her medical care or attention and make decisions for her medically, that she had to stay in the hospital for 2 months until they could get in front of a judge to get the guardianship by her son. So please, please, please make sure that your wishes are down with a lawyer. You have a good financial officer that can look at your money, make sure that it's going to be spent the way you want it. Because guess what? If you don't have a will or a trust, you won't be making the decisions maybe that you want to have. They'll be made for you. So yeah, making sure, if you have a loved one that is, getting up there in age, make sure that they have all of their things lined up. They'll say they do, but you need to really follow up and make sure that they have a will, they have a financial advisor, you know where their money is, you know how to get into their bank accounts, and all of that is really, really important.
I'm going to make a guess that this is a question that you answer a lot, because anytime that you would be talking with a family or someone that does need your services, they want to know how much they're going to have to pay you.
Good question.
Because listen, it's everything that we do. Yeah, it's your job. So yeah, so how does that process work? I mean, how much is it going to cost me to hire you to go and help me find something?
Just because of who you are, Todd, my services are free to you. How about that?
Well, okay. I'm going to just jot that down.
There you go.
Jean said she's free.
Yep, for Todd. No, actually, I love that part, because I can be a free resource to the communities that I love, and an advocate for them. Anytime, day or night, I'm out to work with them. If it's at the hospital, I'll go to the hospital. If it's a weekend, I will do whatever it takes to meet their needs. How my business works, and I never knew there was such a thing until I worked with my dad, is that I have contracts with all of the different assisted livings, independent livings, and that's how I get paid, is to bring you to them. And so I help kind of make their job easier by finding the right fit for each one of those people, and they pay me in return. So that's how I keep my doors open.
So you are actually being paid by the different facilities. So the people that you're actually helping don't have to put out any money to you in order to make that happen.
Right. And because I work for all of them, I am not, you aren't paying me to, I can recommend all of them, but I would recommend the one that's going to be the best fit, because I work for you, not for them.
That's a really good point, because I would assume that many of these different facilities are going to have their own strengths, that this place is going to be much better in this, and you need this or something different. And so you can make sure, and your job is to know who has those strengths and in what categories.
I get to know you and your family member really, really well. And I find out through an assessment, what are their true needs and what are they going to have to be successful. Because, I've lived and taught in this community for years, And I want to have a good reputation. I want my name to mean something, that I don't want to make a bad recommendation and it doesn't work out for either side. So I work hard to make sure it's the right fit.
Yeah, I have a very similar philosophy to what it is that I do. I was talking with somebody earlier today, and they were looking for some help in podcast editing. And I ended up saying, you know what, I'm not the right guy for this job, because what these folks were doing was much more in depth and complicated and really looked more like a TV show than a podcast. And so they needed something past typically what my strengths are. Yeah, I could have said yes and limped my way through it and see if I couldn't figure it out so I could get some money. But that wasn't going to work out on the backside,
Right.
you know, and I end up with with someone who doesn't think I do very good work because I'm trying to do something that's not in my wheelhouse.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I can understand completely what it is that you're talking about, that you need to make sure that you are doing the best you can for your client, because you know, that's how your business grows, is word of mouth. And hey, how did you find out where you're going? Well, we use Jean Bohnker.
Yep.
And so we know we can trust her because look at how great we're doing here.
I want my word to be golden, and I want to have that reputation of, hey, that's the best you can, great help. And I want you to tell your friends about me. So that's what's important to me.
How do people get a hold of you, Jean?
They can call me on my phone. It's my personal phone. It's my work phone. It's my weekend phone. It's whatever you need to, whenever you need to help, call 402-690-5467. Yeah, right here in Council Bluffs, but I have an advocate that works Sioux City, Des Moines area. So I did want to mention too, a lot of times we have an internet company. So a lot of sons and daughters live out of state, right? And so they will also get hooked up with us because they don't know what is available in Council Bluffs or Denison, Iowa, Harlan. And so we can help those out-of-state relatives find the best fit for what's available anymore in your small town that, you grew up and you left and went away. So we're that local resource that can help you out.
Well, we're grateful that you're out doing what you're doing, and also grateful that as you went through the experience, you saw, hey, I've got skill sets that I can help other people just as the way somebody helped me. So good on you for making all of that happen. And I'm thrilled that you jumped on with me here today.
You bet. I appreciate your time, and thanks for letting other people know what I can do to help.
Are you looking for all natural health solutions in Southwest Iowa? Bambi's Green Acres Natural Market. Her store is located in Council Bluffs. She's been serving the community since 1997 with a wide selection of vitamins, supplements, essential oils, herbal remedies. 37 years of experience right there in Bambi's Green Acres, helping you reach your health goals. Her shop is at 805 South Main Street in Council Bluffs. She also has a website, bambisgreenacres.com. Bambi's Green Acres Natural Market, putting health in your hands. That wraps up today's show. Thank you so much. Thank you to Jean Bohnker for being a guest today. You did a great job, Jean. I told you it was going to be a whole lot easier than you thought. My name's Todd Studer. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.